Hello everybody, welcome to RPG Labs. My name is Dutchy and let's get into this video. Alright, so I already made a few tips and tricks videos, but today I'm going to be making a video that's a little bit more advanced. Now I'm going to be covering the demon and the survivors with this one, so hopefully you guys will enjoy it. And just letting you guys know that not all these tips are from me. A lot of them are from the people in the Discord, which you can join if you would like to meet up with some people who are playing Evil Dead at the moment. So just go to the link down in the description below and come join Discord and let's have a couple of games. But anyway, enough about all of that. Let's get into the video. Now, when you first start as the demon, you are probably wanting to figure out exactly where the hell these survivors are so you can kill them as fast as possible. Well, one way to actually figure that out is to check where the Kandarian Dagger are and the Lost Pages, and yourself. Now, knowing these three locations basically narrows it down where the survivors can spawn, because they will never spawn around the Kandarian Dagger, they will never spawn around the pages, and they will never spawn around you, meaning that they should be somewhere on the right side of the map right here. Now, I always had this feeling in the back of my head that it was going to be like this a little bit, but just to make sure, I actually got my friends to tell me exactly where they are when they first spawned, and they were in Hidden Acres. Away from the Kandarian Dagger and away from myself. I do have to admit that Spiny is the one that showed me this, so thanks Spiny, you are amazing. But anyway, let's go. Alright, so when the game first starts and you've actually found the survivors, one of the first things you always want to do is set up a few traps around the little area that they're hanging around in. But apart from that, you also really want to summon a bunch of your troops. And if you're the warlord or you are the necromancer, you should probably either place down your flute guy somewhere, but also you should probably activate your ability as the warlord, meaning that your troops will do a lot more damage. But you also want to make sure that you take over one of your units so you can actually be in the fight with them and do a lot more damage. Because you yourself, you'll do a lot more damage and you are a lot more tankier. Basically meaning you're like a little mini boss fight for them. Now I would recommend actually taking over one of your minions over actually taking over one of the people who are freaking out right now. Like this chick right here, if I would have just taken her over, they would have easily been able to kick me out of her body and well then I wouldn't have been able to do too much. Plus I would have lost all my energy. Another really good thing about actually taking over a skeleton is that you can actually rack up your level really fast. I mean, right now I've already gotten 3 levels from just messing around with these guys, and now bam, there's an even 4th one. And once these guys actually die, I'll get even more levels. Now with the Necromancer, I would recommend leveling up your Infernal Energy and your basic units. Because if you can level those up straight at the beginning quite a bit, they can be overwhelmed really fast. Now, I know a lot of people actually tell you, like, hey, go with the traps and you'll be able to basically summon elite units for a fraction of the price. And I would probably recommend this with the Puppeteer. But for the Warlord and the Necromancer, I would recommend actually leveling up your Infernal Energy and your basic units first. Because your basic units are extremely strong. But with the Puppeteer, they are very, very weak. But their elite units are very, very strong. Now, one thing you definitely want to do is scare them by dashing through them. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't seem to realize is that you can actually cancel this ability so it doesn't have a long ass cooldown. So over here I noticed that I couldn't exactly do it, so I quickly cancel it and now it only has a 10-second cooldown, meaning that I can do it in a few more seconds. Now, I kind of do feel bad because these guys had a couple of levers, but it was just too good of an opportunity to show you guys exactly how to possess someone. Now, what I would usually do if I see someone that's really low in health, I usually possess them, I grab them, and I run them as far away as possible. Now, the reason I do this is so they are as far away from their team as possible and they will not be able to get rest. Now, if someone does actually try to res them, that means that I can basically get a quick kill on the person who is trying to either res them, or I can get a kill on the people who are still on point. Meaning that no matter what happens, I can basically get another kill for free. And also, it's a great way to get them off the point. Meaning that you can do more and get more XP, so you can basically be overleveled as hell by the end of the game. If they even survive that long. Did you actually know you can use the deer head in the Kenobi cabin? Now, what I did, I put a little flute guy next to it so people would start coming towards it, and then I activated it, which you can basically freak them the hell out, putting up their fear quite a bit.
Why are you doing this to me?
Alright, now when you actually go to possess these boxes, also I would recommend doing it because they give you a lot of XP, especially early on. You should always focus on putting mini ashes in them. Now the reason I would put mini ashes in them over the hand is because the hand does a little bit of damage, but the evil ashes can steal some of their supplies. That can include their medical supplies, so their shields or their champ colas, or even their ammunition. And trust me, late game they really wanted ammunition, and if they didn't realize that they just lost a whole bunch of items to those little ashes, that means that you have a massive advantage. Another thing you really have to focus on is making sure they don't get a break. Now, if they get a break, they can basically regroup, grab some supplies, and they're basically good to go for another bunch of fights with you. But if you do not let them go at all, like you basically terrify them constantly, they have to stay around fires, you keep spawning things on them, all that kind of stuff, that basically means that they have no time to rest, no time to pick up any supplies, no time to do anything apart from fight you. And if they're fighting you, that means that you level up. Because even if you're fighting a losing battle, it doesn't matter because you are just leveling up. And the more levels you gain, the stronger you become. So basically, just be an absolute cunt to them and just pressure them constantly. Alright, well that's gonna be the tip for the demons at the moment. Let's go over to the humans, or also known as the survivors. Now, one of the first things you want to do when you actually start a game as the survivors is split up. Now, I would recommend going to a area each, basically meaning that you have that whole area for your own loot. And also, that means that there will be no loot stealing. If there is a gold crate or a purple crate or even a blue crate, I would recommend marking those crates and telling your team that there is some good pink Fs over here. But actually, one of the main reasons you need to split up and go to different areas is that people can find the map a lot easier that way. Now, in this little clip right here, I basically found the map piece straight away as I got into El Brucho's hut. And then basically not even a minute later, somebody found another piece of the map. And then not even a minute later, somebody found another piece of the map, meaning that we had all 3 pieces of the map within like 2 minutes. And the funniest thing about this moment is that the demon saw that and immediately rage quit because he was so underleveled and we could basically rush over to the dagger and the pages and just do them straight away. Something that you always need to consider is changing your priorities in the fly. Now, when I first came over here, Yoshi and Insane basically took out the Dark Ones already, but they were kind of dead. So we couldn't do too much about that, so we kind of had to live with that. I go and take out the Fluke guy as quickly as possible, because I see him and I want to quickly kill him. Then I realize Evil Ash is right there, hurting my friend. Now, since I'm a support, I can actually run over there and actually back Ash up by not actually doing the damage, but I'm actually going around healing Ash. Now, if I didn't go up to Ash and start healing him, he would have been in a lot more trouble, and that means that I would have been in a lot more trouble as well. Now remember, all supports can basically heal your friends, so basically always pop a medallion near your friends and always try to pop some drinks near friends as well. Now, you definitely want to befriend some of your warrior friends if you are a support, because your warrior friends will be tanking a lot of damage, and if you can stand there healing them a bit, that means that they have even more tank capability. Like over here, our Ash actually ended up taking out the evil Ash. Alright, so dodging backwards is not such a great idea. I got my friend over here to try dodge backwards for me as much as he could to avoid as many of my attacks as he can. And I just kept coming at him. But here's the thing, if he is trying to dodge backwards, he will lose most of his stamina and I can basically keep hitting him. He might avoid 1 or 2 hits, but that's really about it. Now in this next clip, I actually told him to start dodging towards me. Now with the iframes that you actually get from dodging forward, you can actually basically ignore a lot of the damage that the enemy is trying to deal to you. But at the same time, for most of the units in the game, it's actually kind of hard to quickly turn around while they're attacking. The only way you can actually turn around and quickly attack them is with one of your cooldown attacks. Now with this one, it will be the slamming the spear onto the ground. With the Warlord, it will be the vomiting, and I would recommend throwing your head with the Puppeteer. but these are only for the basic units. Now, a lot of you guys are probably having a lot of trouble with beating one boss, the Puppeteer boss, Eligos. Now, the thing is with Eligos, he is quite strong, and he's invincible when he's moving, and he's invincible during some of his attacks as well. Also, his attacks are really annoying to dodge, so it's really hard to dodge, just most of his attacks really. Now, one thing you can do is actually try to tank a lot of his hits. Now, I would recommend being the warrior class or having a hunter in the background, so the hunter can basically shoot when Eligos does appear, and the warrior can basically tank. If I was Eligos though, I would probably go after that hunter first and then after the warrior second. Now, if an Eligos does go after a warrior, if it's Henry Red can basically take care of him pretty easily, because he can go invincible for 7 seconds, and if Eligos doesn't realize that he's invincible and is still trying to go for him, Henry the Red can basically take care of him really easily, because he can't be knocked back or anything like that, because he's being invincible for 7 seconds. Also, Ash is pretty good because of his 50% damage reduction. And more damage. You know, you can actually see the traps that the demon actually has laid. They are very hard to spot, but if you look really carefully, you can sort of see that the surrounding area is a little bit disturbed. You can actually also avoid these attacks if you dodge at just the right time. Now, this is actually kind of a little bit tricky to learn, so I would recommend you just giving it a go on some random traps that you spot around. Now, while you are running around the map, just make sure that you always look out for traps. Now, a lot of locations like doorways or a little bit inside of a building, there are usually traps if the demon is near. So just keep an eye out and try to avoid them as much as possible. Or if you can't avoid them, try to do that dodging trick that I just showed you. Did you also know that you can actually avoid the elite Puppeteer's electrical attack by literally just either walking or dodging out of the way? Now, there is actually something that allows him to cast his attack immediately, but I kind of think it's cheating, so I don't really want to include that into this guide. Especially because I feel like they're probably gonna patch that very soon. Alright, well anyway, that's all the tips for now. I will definitely have some more tips and tricks very soon again, so I'll catch you guys then. Also, if you guys like to have a game, come join the Discord, link in the description below, and hey, maybe give us a little bit of a like and a sub. I'll catch you guys later. Bye!